versus Malfurion.
I must protect the one.
Happy for
Is up, everybody.
Happy
We are back here at the cave, Hearthstone tournament number 3. This is the playoffs, round of 4 after the Swiss. It's gonna be Innovation at the bottom versus Kingzilla on the top. Sorry, I need to fix the names here. Give me a sec, guys. Everything's all good. So it looks to be a aggro mech shaman that we see from Innovation versus a mid-range combo druid from Kingzilla. Now, this is a pretty tricky turn for the. I mean, it feels so bad to Rock Rider, but you have to as the shaman here because you need to deal with that Druid of the Claw and get board advantage again with the Totem Golem. And now we're seeing the start of the anti-synergy of the Cogmaster with this more aggro shaman deck because you don't really have enough mechs to support the Cogmaster. So, but then again, he just draws another mech. Innovation's been drawing really well this tournament with this deck. Yep. Plan to see just a Cogmaster, the Whirling's Diplomatic, get as much on the board as possible against a Druid. Probably see Shade Wrath here, or Raptor Wrath from the Druid. Raptor's probably a bit better since he needs to start trading, and you don't want to trade as much with the Shade. This probably see the 2 minions thrown down, maybe just the Unbound Elemental and Hero Power. You're gonna probably see both minions because he's already got a free trade with the Raptor on the Cogmaster. Okay, so he's gonna trade into the Raptor. I would just gone face. Now that Chill Bear is pretty good. I like this a lot more than playing the 1-drop. The Tunnel Chalk. The Hero Power. Innovate's not so good of a draw for the Druid there, and the Rock Rider is not so good for the Shaman here because like he's looking for substance, not burn, and like he's looking for minions to keep this board attrition up, like board attrition battle that's going on, and like stuff like Rock Rider isn't helping that situation. Where Innovate, it's a tempo card, and this is like the bad side of Innovate, where you draw it when you don't need the mana, but you need actual value from your deck. So, yep. This is definitely a really strong line of play. I mean, that Lava Burst is probably going face anyways. Get the value from the Unbound Elemental getting bigger now. Probably gonna see an Emperor Innovate Shade because I don't see the Innovate being used for anything else here, like in near time future. A Taut Totem doing a lot of work. A mech here. Power Mace. That is a solid draw from the Shaman here. And probably is going to move the Emperor and then just probably go face with the rest. Rockbiter, his own face, kill the Emperor and then go face with the rest. He can even go complete face, but I'd be slightly worried about maybe potential double Saboteur. Just think about the Emperor is going to get a free trade off on a 3-attack minion. You really need to clear off that Emperor. Here. Killing off the Shredder. Okay. Is he gonna kill the Emperor? Or is he gonna save that Rock Biter? Just gonna go face and hero power, okay. With the healing totem, it makes a bit more sense to trade because he's out of range of swipe. But I'm questioning why he prioritized getting rid of that Shredder so much. Using Savage War's removal here. Curious to, I would probably go face with that Emperor, but that's just me. Oh, okay, so he's gonna still trade. He's gonna go full trade. Yeah, that was a misplay.
I can fix anything.
Keeps holding on to this Rock Biter. And this Emperor is just gonna keep doing work. Yeah, Innovation is about to get punished very heavily for not killing this the Emperor, but maybe he feels he needs the Doomhammer Rock Biter to win at this point, but he needed to try to take control of the board a lot earlier in the game and then snowball that advantage. That's usually what you try to do against a Druid due to their lack of removal. This Emperor is just gonna keep doing work here. Force of Nature is a decent draw. That's a clear. Okay, so he's going for full safe clear here, Kingzilla. He's not messing around. He basically feels as long as he keeps the board completely clear, he can't lose this game, which is a pretty good assumption. Besides possibly Ancestral Spirit, this Shaman deck really doesn't run any draw. And so he's just going to draw one card a turn, and since the Druid has a board lead, is just going to keep snowballing this advantage by the Druid. And eventually Druid is going to draw Ancient Lore, and that's when the card advantage is going to shoot in the Druid's favor. And I mean, this has just been an attrition battle.
Will rise against you. Nature will
I mean,
rise
this game is pretty much over at this point. I can't really see the Shaman getting out of this position. And that's really unfortunate because this is usually greatly in favor of the Shaman. Even killing off the spell power totem instead of the face.
well played. Nature will win this.
Yep, Innovation knows it's over. Kingzilla is pretty happy about that. I mean, Kingzilla could be on his way to winning our weeklies 2 times in a row now. So we're going to see the Druid again from Kingzilla, and we're going to see this Reno Warlock from Innovation. I tend to see this as actually pretty close matchup. It's really draw dependent, and both players have kind of pretty. Well, Kingzilla has a phenomenal hand, but Innovation has a decent hand as well. So I really like the coin Dark Peddler here, because you're either going to tap or Dark Bomb on 2. That Elven Archer is basically a Mortal Coil that just draws you a 1/1, so it's pretty good. And keeping that Dark Bomb as heads up from Innovation, just knowing he needs it to deal with the Aspirant. Probably just gonna see. Hey, okay. Okay, he's planning on keepering down the Dark Peddler next turn. Also, brought Druid, Lock, Warrior, and Paladin, and he banned Innovation's Hunter, and Innovation brought Druid, Lock, Shaman, and Hunter, and he banned Kingzilla's Warlock. So you guys know the classes.
Nature will rise against you.
Tap Ooze was pretty much the only play here. Probably see Wild Growth and or Wrath, but I don't know if I mean, he's already playing. I mean, he's played pretty kind of heavily into Hellfire. I would really like him to not attack the Shade, because then he like gets so wrecked by Hellfire, because the Hellfire Mortal Coil. Or just a heads up play. And this makes sense. He wants to save the Wild Growth for the draw later on. Fugan seems the only real play here. Mortal Coil really doesn't do anything. Elven Archer. I mean, it removes a 2/1, but what do you do with the rest of your turn? And the Fugan here is really good trading stats against this board. Innovation is just so worried. There's so much potential damage on the board with like a Savage Roar from the Druid. That's what he's worried about. But I mean, eventually he's probably going to come down to the. He's going to realize the only play here is Fugan. You can't play scared all the time versus Druid. Ancient Lore on 7 from Kingzilla. That's what you call a good Druid player. But the lack of Keeper is actually maybe going to come back if Innovation gets the lag. He just drew the second one. I would really, unless he's also playing the Elven Archer. That Twilight Drake is an excellent draw, because he can now kill off the Ancient Lore with the Elven Archer and the Fugan, and play the Twilight Drake. I mean, before, I would like to see him try to kill off the Ancient Lore with the Fugan and the Mortal Coil, and then play the Stalag.
Nature will rise against you.
Not killing off the Ancient Lore. That is. I wonder what he's trying to save that Elven Archer for. But that is lethal because of double Savage Roar. And I don't. So Innovation is now down 0-2 to Kingzilla. And this is the threat of Druid in Last Hero Standing. It can just do Druid things. We haven't really seen it much this tournament or any of our events, but Druid is infamous for just 3-0ing in Last Hero Standing, because it can just draw Innervate, draw Wild Growth, and curve out perfectly into combo. And there's sometimes nothing you can do about it. It's a really solid deck in this format. And it was usually one of the most banned because of that. People just don't want to risk the fact that they can get 3-0'd by something out of their control. This hand from Innovation, he has the Innervate, but he really doesn't have anything good to Innervate out. Wow. And Kingzilla's, he's got the Aspirant, but that just saved his draw there. That Aspirant. And it's going to cause issues for Kingzilla here, because he's not going to be able to remove that Aspirant from Innovation. I would really like to maybe see the Keeper of the Grove on his own Aspirant, and it basically becomes a permanent Wild Growth. Or he can Keeper his opponent's Aspirant and deny it, but then he's open to swipe. I would really like him to silence his own Aspirant. I think it'd be really heads up for him to Innervate out his Keeper here. And just get a permanent Wild Growth. Because then he can go 5-5 into Boom. It's so solid. Even if he gets swiped. It'll maintain the initiative. Decides to not go for it. I think he wants to just Innervate Boom next turn. Which, I mean, this is also pretty strong as well. Actually, no, he won't be able to Innervate Boom. Yeah, because he lost the mana. This is... See, he's going to have to play the Keeper now anyways. It was actually a huge misplay. I mean, you can Innervate out a 5-drop, but then you're losing him out on a Mana Crystal from the Innervate, and you're... Yeah, I guess you have to Innervate out 5-drop. I like the Druid Claw. It's less susceptible to removal. Like 4/6 is just so hard to deal with. And this feels so awful for Kingzilla, having to play Azure Drake into a Druid Claw. I may have gone for the Loatheb to protect my Druid Claw from a Wrath there. And yeah, swipe. Yeah, I think this is a massive misplay by Innovation there. Like, Loatheb is so strong right after you trade like that. Probably just gonna see a Belcher here, because you want to save Loatheb for an opportune moment. Probably see Dr. Boom. Just want to get that as early as possible. Less chance of Big Game Hunter. Probably going to see a counter Boom. From Innovation. Well, yeah, Viaton. He wouldn't have been able to Innervate Keeper, but he would have kept the Mana Crystal and he would have got 5/5 into Boom. So it was definitely a misplay to not Innervate out that Keeper there. And silence his own Aspirant. I am slightly tired. I have been... I mean, I've been here for a while, and it's been more than just casting. I streamed before this as well, so I'm slightly tired. And it's a lot... Basically, I'm just doing full analysis, because that's where my strengths are of plays. And I know some people enjoy that, to just hear analysis. Yeah, Viaton. I wanted him to... It was correct to silence his own Aspirant. That way he wouldn't have lost the Mana Crystal.
Guide my lands.
I mean, these have been pretty straightforward plays. Just... he's scared of dying to combo here, so he has to just force a nature clear, which is fine. Okay, so this is when he. Okay, he's gonna heal. Second Ancient Lore makes it slightly easier. Sometimes it's just correct to say if he has combo, I just lose. But he's deciding to play around it. He feels he can afford to.
I must safeguard.
Is he gonna double keeper this turn? Innovation? And full clear? That'd be a solid play. Yeah, okay. Ooh, Haunted Creeper. That is so good in the Druid Mirror matchup. Like, old Kalento mid-range Druid where everyone ran Creeper and Ooze was actually favored in the matchup because it's so hard for Druid. Well, it was favored against the more mid-range Druid because it's so hard for Druid to move minions like Creeper and Ooze. And they would just be Savage War targets. So Creeper is a really solid, if not like one of the best to get off Shredder in this matchup. I think he needs to just draw here with the lore. His combo would do 14 plus 5 plus 6. So 14 plus 5. So it'd be 25. I mean, setting your opponent to 2 is almost as good as like killing them. Especially after both heals. Like, I don't think you can like win if your opponent has combo, is what I'm basically saying, and so I wouldn't play like that, like healing myself. Basically, the philosophy I'm trying to use is like, you don't play around something you can't beat. Because you can't beat it anyways, so... That, I'm pretty sure that is now lethal. I'm pretty sure it wasn't lethal before. And if, yeah, Kingzilla knows it was over. I mean, he was just behind on the board for such a long time. I think it actually really came down that he had to play Azure Drake into a Druid Claw. That is just so painful, but there was like a 1/1 2 keepers, so it was 5 plus roar. Yeah, it was 1 off, but sending your opponent to 1 is still like, well, what do you do from there as the 1 health Druid? So, but yeah, you're right. It's 1 off.
Happy Feast of Winter Vale.
Happy Feast of Winter Vale.
Patron Warrior. The unstable ghoul. Definitely says this is Patron Warrior. And this is slightly, especially with the new version of Patron Warrior, where it runs like Gramash and Boom, it's actually slightly favored for, a lot more favored for the Patron Warrior, because you never really did the Warsong Commander, like in this matchup, before the Warsong Commander nerf, you could play Warsong Commander for 3 mana as a 2/3. in this matchup. Like, it really didn't matter the charge mechanic. All that mattered was you getting a whole board of patrons against the Druid. So it's actually, the patron deck has gotten better against Druid since the nerf. And that is pretty good RNG for the for innovation there, getting the totem golem off the shredder, forcing out an early execute. That is really painful for the patron warrior, and innovation may be making a comeback. And on top of that, Kingzilla just wasted the coin. I think the nerves are getting to him. I think he expected to go 3-0 and it rattled him a little bit that he didn't. I like this. He doesn't really have anything else to do. He's got both Death Sprites in hand. He might as well possibly prepare himself for a Grim Patron. But all I'm saying is innovation, his first event, he was here. He went 0 and I think 6. Or something like that. In round robin. And now he's in the top 4 of this event. And he seems to be in actually a lead against innovation. I mean, against Kingzilla this game, and this will bring the match to 2-2. Like, so he has shown so much improvement, and I am just so impressed. In the short period of time, every single time I see him, his plays get more and more impressive, and I think he's gonna be a real force to be reckoned with as time moves on. This type of improvement to me says like he could potentially, if he really wanted to, maybe be a pro. That's what this says to me. That Acolyte's actually a pretty decent draw. Because he can get 3 draws here if he wants. I mean, not if he wants, if he's lucky, which he isn't. He really needs to draw the second execute here. And Kingzilla is just not happy with this. Hey, if innovation keeps improving like this, and we start to do qualifier type events here at the cave, and he keeps coming to them, I mean, you never know. Okay. Yep. I was about to say, there's really nothing the patient warrior can do here, and just, I mean, when you're set to 2 like that versus a Druid, there's really nothing you can do if you can't lethal them yourself. So we're going to go to the third and final game. So this is going to be Innovation's Druid, which was actually very wise of him to end on, versus the Paladin. So this is actually greatly in favor of Kingzilla, but Innovation here with the Aspirant and the Swipe in his opening hand. I really like him to see keep him both those cards. Get them all away the swipe. I mean, it's reasonable, but usually against Paladin, I like to keep swipe because muster for battle. It just is so. Swipe is just so good with Polys. Like even if you don't play it early, like it's good later. So pointing out the aspirant. As long as there's no double secret here, it won't get killed. Noble Sacrifice is probably one of the better secrets to get there. Just gonna Wild Growth. I wonder if he's gonna attack with Aspirant, because there's an argument to play around Noble Sac and not attack here. But he is okay. I mean, the next play is gonna be Keeper anyway, so it isn't that big of a deal if the Aspirant gets killed. So, actually, now it's a big deal. That muster for battle, and then see. Imagine if he kept the swipe here. Like, well, like you just silence the Secret Keeper. It feels so bad. Innervate Force of Nature. Okay, so I don't like this at all. Innervating out the hero power. Oh, he's clearing it. I would have just silenced and then tried to innervate Ancient Lore next turn and try to draw into board clears and stuff you need to win this matchup. Because the double Force of Nature isn't going to do anything for him here. He needs to find other things. That was one of the better draws in his deck, but the this is an interesting play. Can you consecrate? Because consecrate clears off with the Shredder the Druid Claw, but outdoor saves your Shredder. Probably consecrates better here. Yeah, you can clear the full board and. You usually don't get much value off consecrating against druids, so. That's awesome, Bio10. Okay. Let's compel Spirit, but you need to force a nature here. You need to force a nature. Wild Growth really isn't doing anything for you here.
Happy Feast of Wintervale, champion.
Are we just gonna see a Lothab? Even though it's a pretty bad turn for Lothab, because like it's technically his turn 7 because he didn't have 7 mana last turn. So if there's gonna be a 7 drop here. That, like a 7 drop in the Druid's hand, he'd play it now. So it means that it isn't really countering any spells, but it gets a 5/5 on the board, which is the important part of it.
Follow the rule.
He's gonna outdoor, go face. Oh, he's gonna trade. Yep. Play it safe.
Well played. Happy Feast of Wintervale,
Kingzilla is basically he's won this game at this point. Force of Nature clear. You can kill off the Lothab and the 4/2. Then there's still 7, 9 damage on the board. He'll be at like 3 next turn. And I don't see a way for him to win after that, so looks like Kingzilla is going to win this series and go to the finals like 2 weeks in a row now. He's just having fun. He's not an asshole. He's actually a pretty kind guy, if you get to know him.
Time waits for no one. Well played.
Tyrion on 8. Just,
Put your faith in the light.
they're just, like, I mean, that isn't even the nail in the coffin. Coffin was way earlier, but, I mean, that just... It, like, impossible to lose.
Well played. I concede.
Yeah, so Kingzilla makes it to the finals.